What up, dude bros? I'm Frank. This is a video review of the Nerf Vortex VTX Praxis. This Vortex VTX blaster is a direct reskin of the original Praxis, just like the other VTX blasters. But if you're unfamiliar with the Praxis, it's a spring-powered pump-action, magazine-fed blaster in the Vortex series. The Praxis is very similar to the Pyragon, but this blaster does not include the drum, it doesn't have slam fire, and it has slightly different cosmetics. But let's get into the review. Included is the blaster itself, two 10-round magazines, discs, and the instructions. External overview of the Praxis starting up at the front. Of course, it does not have an in-strike attachment lug for your barrels, because of course the disc would not fit through a normal dart barrel. Up top though, we have a sling mount. Underneath we have the priming handle. This is a spring-powered blaster, so to prime, you do that. You're primed to fire one time. This blaster is single fire only. It does not have a slam fire option like the Pyragon. Moving back up top, we have an in-strike tactical rail for your optic mount or whatever. And right behind that, we have another sling attachment point. Below the tack rail is the unjamming slide. So if I prime this blaster and for some reason the trigger is seizing up and I'm not able to fire it, I can hit this little slide and eject the disc from the blaster. That clears out the chamber, so then I can completely clear the blaster. It's essentially the access door on most dart blasters, but you can't get your finger in there like on a normal dart blaster's access door system. Underneath we have the magazine. To eject the magazine, you can hit this button, and it's also on the other side. And when you pull down on that, the magazine is slightly ejected out, which I think is super cool. The Praxis includes two 10-round magazines that of course hold 10 discs. Loading it is very simple. And after that's loaded, to reinstall, you just slide it on in there. Again, it includes two 10-round magazines, which are super simple, but it's compatible with the drum out of the Pyragon and the Glow Vortex mags, which are available on Amazon separately. Although these have the same capacity of 10 rounds and these are shorter for the silly Glow Tech technology. Back to the trigger. The trigger release is pretty standard. Again, this blaster does not have slam fire. The Pyragon does, the Praxis does not. And just like the other Vortex blasters, the locks are kind of weird. I'm able to prime my Praxis even with an unloaded magazine, but the chamber is empty, so I'm not able to pull the trigger. I mention this because it's bad for your springs to leave your blasters primed. You can make your blaster weaker over time. So make sure you fire one last dart before you store your blaster. Back to the grip. The grip angle isn't really my taste, but it is ergonomic and smooth, kind of comfortable. But the grip angle is leaning forward. It reminds me of like a wheel gun or a revolver. It's just, you know, weird. And when it's in just one hand, it feels like all the weight, it just feels extremely front heavy. The balance is a little unique. Not necessarily bad, but this is the Pyragon and it's shaped in a bit more traditional, shape with more traditional weight balance. Even though these blasters look super similar, the Pyragon just feels, in my opinion, more comfortable, but they have a very different feel. One's not objectively better or worse or anything, that's just my opinion. Moving up to the stock attachment point, this is a traditional lug, so you can attach some of your stocks, but not all of them. This is the barricade stock. This is probably my favorite stock that Nerf makes, and it doesn't actually fit. It's prevented from sliding all the way on because of how this grip is designed. Regulator stock does work, and most stocks that don't have like protruding lower sections will work, but it's worth noting that the barricade and anything with like a front little nub like this might not fit. That is the external overview of the Praxis. Let's see it out on the firing range. Firing the Vortex Praxis is very similar to the Vortex Pyragon, minus the slam fire. Pump action, spring powered, similar form factor. It's a very similar blaster. I did not have any jams or malfunctions to speak of, so the performance was pretty much what I was expecting. I put the VTX Praxis up on my chronograph and I achieved an average velocity of 43 feet per second, which is a little below the Pyragon and the Vigilon, which I've recently chronographed, also in the VTX series, but not different enough to say the Praxis is trash or anything, so that the performance isn't quite the same, but it's not like noticeably hugely worse. And to restate, I did not have any jams or malfunctions with the Praxis, so this is pretty much an equal reskin to the original Praxis, or at least from memory, since I don't have the chrono data from the original Praxis. So overall opinion on the VTX Praxis. Overall, there's nothing to complain about. It works just fine. I'm personally not a huge user of the Vortex series, but the Praxis works as expected. However, the Pyragon looks so similar to the Praxis, I'm sure if you're looking at both of them on the website, you're like, which one should I buy? They look pretty much the same. The Pyragon has a massive top tactical rail where the Praxis is miniature. Pyragon has slam fire, the Praxis does not. The Pyragon includes a 40-round disc drum, where the Praxis just includes two 10-round mags. And lastly, subjective opinion, I think the Pyragon grip is better balanced and overall more comfortable. The Praxis is just goofy. And with no jams or malfunctions or massive design flaws, I can't really say don't buy this, but the Pyragon seems like a better buy. But the whole value thing and where you want your money to go is completely your decision. So hopefully I have comprehensively reviewed both of the products well enough for you to make that purchase decision for yourself. The Vortex VTX Praxis is a Target exclusive, so I'll leave a purchase link in the description box there if you'd like to buy it. That concludes this video review. Thanks so much for watching, bros, and as always, stay tactical.